Yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have a great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron. I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
Why'd you have to name him? Like, seriously? Like, thanks, man.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground?
Crazy. And for the fans at home,
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I am joined by the man with the smoothie and a side of self-belief, Austin.
a little bit out of nowhere, but I'll take it, I guess. It's a big trade deadline ahead. A lot of people may be traded, or no one. It could be really boring.
Yeah, apparently people are waiting on KD to see if he's being traded, which is lame. Because we dealt with this less than a year ago, where the trade stopped because they're like, well, we don't want to give up anything if KD leaves, and then he doesn't leave. So,
Well, do you think KD gets moved, and if so, where?
I don't think so. I think he stays because I think they have a pretty good chance with the roster they have and the moves that they could make. Because they got some nice assets from the Harden trade. And I like what they got back in the Kyrie deal. But we will review the Kyrie deal in the future podcast.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier to see if the Mavs make more moves, which they probably should.
They better.
Yeah, so it'll all take time to fully recognize what needs to happen. Next, we got Mike Conley. Do you think Mike Conley gets traded?
I would say yes.
Where to?
It looks like LA, but I hope not. But I do think he gets traded because isn't he on expiring?
Yeah, I have him going to LA.
Okay, dang it. Yeah, I don't want...
Or Lakers, I should say.
Or yeah, I don't want him going to the Lakers because I want them to be able to do a sign-in. They have to do a sign-in trade with Kyrie to get Kyrie.
Unless they trade Russ.
Well, but it'd be in the offseason, so Russ would be expired.
Then would they have to?
Or, do they still? Oh, okay, dang it.
I don't know because Russ is taking $47 million in cap.
I thought Russ is an expiring.
He is an expiring deal, but he frees up $47 million in cap.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the
signing maybe because everyone else goes up because there's other salaries and stuff like that. I'd have to take a look again.
Okay, I could be wrong. I was just hoping. So, okay, yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so, and I also don't want LA to be good, but yeah, I think he probably ends up somewhere because I think he's a good point guard. Like, I think he'll give a playoff team solid minutes.
Yeah, and I kind of have these 3 players in a row, Conley, Clarkson, Westbrook, all being involved in the same trade, where Clarkson and Conley go to the Lakers. And people will be like, wow, the Jazz really lose that trade. Now, every possible pick that the Lakers could trade and every pick swap they could trade will be traded in this deal, and they will have 0 picks. I feel like Rob Pelinka is going to be desperate to make a move. Conley can shoot, and he's a good passer. And if you want to play him off the bench, he's a good he'll be fine off the bench. Clarkson, they need another scorer, and that's really where this trade hinders around.
Yeah, it looks like Russell Westbrook. I don't know if you saw like the rumors, what was treated about Ham and Russell getting into it during halftime.
I don't make much of that. Apparently, they made it up relatively quickly, or at least according to the sources, dapped up after the game. Look, coaches and players are going to have their issues, and if you're not, at least sometimes, especially when you're losing by a lot, have some spouts of anger, showing that you actually do care. I'm not going to think you do. I mean, we've seen LeBron after game 1 of the finals break his hand. I mean, it doesn't mean that he hated the Cavs. It just means that he was really mad at what happened. And while I do think Russ gets moved, I don't think that's why.
Yeah, I think it's just the contract of Russ, and that's really hampering the Lakers.
Well, it's really the play of Russ that is hampering the Lakers even more.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll keep going down the list.
Next is DeAndre Ayton.
I know the Mavs are interested in Ayton, but I don't think it could work. And I don't.
It could work if you don't think Wood is resigning.
Oh, I don't think. Wait, would they take? What would be in the deal?
I think it would include a lot, and I do think this would be a trade that includes Jay Crowder because they need a wing defender. Okay. So I think it'd probably be an Ayton, Crowder, and a couple seconds, and the Mavs give up Wood basically. Wood and maybe
like Tim Hardaway.
I don't know if they'd be able to get out of it because of the Wood's making like $30 million, I think, right? Or is it 28, 29?
I thought it's like 20. I thought it's like 15.
No, there's no way it's 15.
Oh, okay. What's his fan spell?
Say again?
I may have been checking like Fanspo or that like trading machine. Is the contract exact on that or?
Oh wait, it's a lot less than that. You were right. It's like 14.
Yeah, because it's from when he first signed with the Rockets. On he wasn't even he was just coming off a good season with the Pistons, so it's a nice deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then it probably will have to include somebody else, but then in that case, the Mavs probably include another pick.
So I'm fine trading a first, Christian Wood, and someone else that isn't
Hardaway, or it would probably be Bertans is who they would trade.
I'm cool with that.
For Ayton, Crowder, and that's about it. No picks. It'd probably be a first and maybe 2 seconds. Because
all our seconds. I don't know.
I don't think you guys gave up all of them. Okay. Maybe you did, but I don't think you gave up all of them. That's a lot of seconds if you gave up all of them.
Or they're all in different deals. 2 seconds worth for Hardy. We gave 2 seconds for Kyrie, but I also don't think Ayton and the Suns get along. So I do think he gets traded.
Where to then?
That's a very good question.
I have him staying.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to him staying.
It's really hard to make one of those trades work.
Yeah, it's just a weird situation.
And that's a good segue into our next player, which is Christian Wood, who I also think stays. However, if he stays and doesn't re-sign, and Kyrie doesn't re-sign, the Mavs go from good roster to horrible roster in about 2 seconds.
Yes, which I think I'll just say disclaimer, I'm not a huge fan of the Kyrie deal, but I do think if we're not going to get enough back, they're not going to get enough back worthy of Wood, I just keep him and run the risk and try to go all in this rest of the season. Apparently the Clippers want him, which I could see happening. So I think I'm going to
The Clippers want everybody.
That's true. But I'm going to say he gets traded.
Wood?
I think he's got a big game tonight against the Clippers, and then they're going to trade for him.
And what would you want in that trade as a Mavs fan?
I would want Apparently, would they give up Covington?
For Wood? Yeah.
For Wood? Okay. Can I get Covington and Reggie Jackson?
I think you could make that happen, but you may have to include, again, a second or a first. Because there's no guarantee that Wood... The reason why is there's no guarantee Wood re-signs. That's what makes it iffy.
Yeah, I got you.
It's the whole thing okay, we got Wood, but if he doesn't sign with us next year, we're kind of hosed. Like, we gave away our bench point guard or starting point guard sometimes and a good defending wing for a rental in Wood with no guarantee that he'd re-sign. Now, maybe you wouldn't have to include a first. Maybe you'd only have to include a couple seconds. And again, you think they're out, but I don't know.
I'm cool sending a second. I'm not cool sending it first. But yeah, I just don't.
You understand why they'd be hesitant, though, right?
Yeah, I understand why they'd be hesitant. Yeah, because it's an expiring deal and they're losing. Yeah, for what you said. I'm just asking you because I'm like, does the contract work?
I think
NBA trades.
I think it would work, and the Mavs would have to include somebody else in that trade, and they may have to include Tim Hardaway to make that trade happen. But
okay, I'm cool with that. Just as long as Hardy and Josh Green are safe, as long as they're not traded, I'm cool. But yeah,
I bet you would have said the same thing about Dorian, though.
Dude, I was on Dorian. Now, like, I don't care. Like, I would have said keep Dorian, and I'm shocked with the fan base is very spread apart on this deal.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we go over all the trades that happened, or at least all the major trades.
But I understand it.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet.
Next, Fred. This is a player that I have going to the Clippers. The Clippers have talked about needing an extra point guard, a point guard that can actually that has experience scoring more and is still in their quote unquote prime. I do think they would move Reggie, and look, Fred is having a horrible season. But there is hope, I believe, in the Clippers organization that him as a third option is capable of being good. He can still shoot, and while he hasn't shot really well this year, he's better catch and shoot than he ever has been off the ball. I mean, on ball. What were we saying?
And he's done it with, like, he's worked with Kawhi before, so
yeah. So that's a big reason why I also think it would work. Do you think he'll get traded?
I think he is traded. I'm not sure about the Clippers. I have a different guy thinking that goes to the Clippers because what do they give up for VanVleet? Because he's also an expiring.
Yes, that's true. But I think also part of it is that you'd be able to buy low here. You wouldn't have to give him too much because, I mean, I think you give him maybe Terrence Mann to give him a young point guard because they need more guards.
Yeah.
And you give him probably a first because I know they have a first in 2029 or something like that. So, and I think they could make the cap work with someone else that's not playing all that much. But
I think that's a solid deal. So I could.
And
that makes sense.
And even if Fred doesn't resign again, he's not playing bad. It's an all-time buy low. So
and you do your best to resign him.
Yeah. Well, only if he actually plays really well. But
I won't go with Clippers. I'll probably say, who's a team that needs? Man, I'm trying to figure out where he does go. It's just hard to gauge the market right now. Actually, I think I have an idea. I'm going to say Fred VanVleet goes to the Suns.
And plays what position?
I think there's going to be another deal where Chris Paul gets shipped out.
How? His contract is massive.
I don't know.
Well, I didn't include Chris Paul on here because I really didn't think he was getting traded. I didn't think they have an out for that. But
because they included him in the Kyrie trade.
That's Kyrie. This is Fred VanVleet.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, that's a hot take.
That's a really hot take.
Yeah. Probably. I'll probably be wrong, but.
Well, yeah. Most of what I have of players actually moving will probably be wrong. Next, I have OG Anunoby. He stays. I don't think, especially with the wrist injury, he's still hurt right now. But mainly, his defensive impact is second to very little players. And I think the Raptors recognize his value and are going to try to keep him.
Yeah, I think he stays. I think it's more of an off-season trade where the market will heat up.
I forgot one player on this list. I'm just going to add him now so I don't forget to add him. Jakob Poeltl.
Oh, I was going to make sure. I was like, we're forgetting Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah. We have a list in front of us of just the players we want to mention, but I just saw a tweet and I was like, wow. I forgot about Jakob Poeltl. I think Jakob Poeltl gets traded, and I think if a team trades for Jakob Poeltl, I think, again, it would probably be the Mavs.
Let's go. That'd be great. I think he's going to be traded to the Celtics because I've heard they're trying to get a center like Jakob Poeltl. I can't remember who it was.
The issue I have with that, and I know that they've talked about it, is where in the world are you going to play Robert Williams and Al Horford? Like, are Robert Williams and Al Horford just not on the team anymore? Or what are you going to do? I guess because of his shooting ability, you could play Al Horford at power forward. But again, when you have Marcus Smart healthy, I don't know if you want to do that.
That is very true.
Another team I could see trading for Jakob Poeltl, and this one's actually probably more likely. Wait, is it? Let me think if this is possible.
I'm trying to find this tweet.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. It's a tough one.
Okay. Have you seen the Lakers and Jazz thing? I saw a tweet from like 2 hours ago. They're largely 3-team trades, largely hinging on how Minnesota values D'Angelo Russell. So they have a structure in place, but there's someone else engaged on Russell.
Yeah, Russell's gaining a lot of fanfare. So we do have Russell on our list. I did not forget him, and I do have him going somewhere.
It's a very good list. I just forgot about Poeltl. Where is that trade? I swear someone said something with the Celtics.
Yeah, Boston and Toronto have been the most frequently cited Poeltl trade suitors, and as noted in my last. Oh wait, that's just. Wait. What did this say? Washington has also shown interest.
Washington on Poeltl?
I actually would love that because that would mean that we could move some of our probably bigger guys. Like, we have already too many bigs, but if we had KP not play center, which we don't have him play center anyway. We have Gafford play center. So we have Poeltl. But again, that's fully healthy. And again, we lost to the Nets without Kyrie, KD, and everyone because Beal was out, Kuzma was out, and then KP fouled out. So we were down to bare bones. But I would be interested in that. I think we could make that happen. I'll switch my Jakob Poeltl pick to the Wizards.
I'm gonna stay with Poeltl to the Celtics.
The Washington one makes sense because they want to keep Bradley Beal happy. They don't want to trade him. Brad wants to stay there. I think they make a move. But you're going to say Celtics?
Oh, here it is. Throughout the past month plus, it has been said. Oh, okay. Never mind. Poeltl's most likely going to be moved. But yeah. So yeah. So we can move on to the next person on the list.
Bojan Bogdanovic. Him, I have him going to the Sixers.
Ooh.
The Sixers need another wing scorer, and their bench has been one of the worst in the league. If you include all teams, they are very negative when Joel Embiid is not on the court. So I think they have to make a move for another scorer, and maybe they play him off the bench and keep starting Tobias Harris and play Maxey and Bojan off the bench as pure scorers.
Oh. But, Maxey. Did you say Maxey? Or are you referring to Thibault?
Nope. Pure scores. Tyrese
Maxey.
Yeah.
Sorry. Mavs fan went in my head and I thought of Maxi Kleber.
Nope.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, that Bojan I think is a great player. He's someone I kind of hope the Mavs trade for because the Pistons said they want a first.
Yes.
I'm willing. Especially now. Yeah, we'll see.
Trade all the draft picks away.
Well, yeah. I was just saving them for the offseason, but yeah. But yeah, I do think he gets traded. He could probably also be maybe like Heat could be an underlying team for Bojan.
I was thinking that, but he doesn't fit the grit and grind style really. Yes, you have guys like Max Strus that just shoot the ball, but I don't know if Boyan adding another one of those guys like Max Strus, like Tyler Hero, like Duncan Robinson when he plays, they just have to score to be effective. I don't know if that'll be good enough. If anyone the Heat adds, I think they add another 3-and-D wing.
Okay. Now the next is John Collins. I think he stays.
I think he stays as well. I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if one of two things is going to happen. If they trade John Collins, I think they trade Trey.
Yeah, which would be crazy because I thought the Hawks won the Luka trade.
Yeah, because then they're going to bring up the fact that they got Cam Reddish as well, and they traded him away.
Who might get bought out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have him anymore, then they traded him away and got some players,
Right.
But still. And I don't think the Hawks tear it down, even though they are struggling a little bit this year. So we both have John Collins staying. Next is Kristaps. I'm going to put Kristaps and Kuzma both in the same ballpark. I don't think either get traded, mainly because I think both of them, besides the winning part, and the reason why the Wizards aren't winning is it's not all that confusing. We don't have Beal for over half the season, and our record with Beal is utterly atrocious because we don't have a guard scorer. Our record with all three healthy, our entire starting lineup healthy, is extremely good comparatively. It's not out of this world. We're not the Bucks or the Celtics with everyone healthy, but we're not what we are as a 10 seed or whatever it is. So I think they keep both of them, and maybe they trade for Jakob and try to build for next year and try to work it out. Now, I'm still so mad that we picked Johnny Davis in the draft, and
over
we do.
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, we do have a lot of moves that I think are possible, but I think the Wizards still believe in this roster, and as a Wizards fan, I want to believe.
I would agree because especially Kuzma, because that's why you traded Rui so you could keep Kuzma and extend him. Now the next is D'Angelo Russell. I do believe he gets traded. I'm curious, what's the other team that could be interested besides the Lakers?
Well, I think it's a possibility of a couple teams, but the team I really think is interested again is the Nets.
Ooh.
The Nets, yes, they have Dinwiddie, but Dinwiddie, I'm sure you know this as a Mavs fan, is not a good passer necessarily.
He's not a great facilitator.
They need a facilitator. And I think they have enough young players because they have a trade Cam Thomas right now while everyone thinks he's the greatest player in the world.
He's coming for that record.
Yeah. He'll pass LeBron tomorrow. I think that the Nets get D'Lo back mainly because I think they need a ball handler who can shoot, but playing D'Lo and Dinwiddie have already played together. Like, so if you were to pair them together, I feel like it would be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I think Dinwiddie's a good point guard, but like you said, he's not a great passer. Like he needs
Dinwiddie by definition, or by what they call him, is a point guard, but he's not a point guard. He's a scoring guard.
He's a scoring.
Yeah,
I wish he was put in a bad role or bad position because they didn't have. He was like the third guy off the bench that could create his own shot, but now he's kind of forced into a role of like being a facilitator and not being able to go score. So I think he was struggling with that, and I think that's because the Mavs lost Brunson. So I think they keep Dinwiddie in that trade and they add Russell.
Well, they can't trade Dinwiddie. That's the whole reason that the Nets wanted to add other people to the trade and get Fred or somebody else, not a point guard. And that's a big reason why I think they get D'Lo, because they've already shown the need for another point guard. But they couldn't extend the trade, and the trade had to go through eventually, and they weren't going to just decline it because they liked what they got. So they can't trade Dorian or Spencer. And the Mavs can't trade Markieff Morris. I'm not going to say they can't trade Kyrie. They're not trading Kyrie, obviously, but they can't trade Markieff Morris, who is another player including that trade. They can't trade him because of I think it's a 30-day or it's a 45-day trade window where you can't trade somebody after they've already been traded. So unless it's a sign-in trade, where technically, yes, he got traded to the Nets and the Nets traded him somewhere else, but it's a 3-team trade at the end of it, technically. But
okay, so it's settled. They can't add to it. Okay.
Yes, and like I said, you cannot move Dinwiddie or Dorian, and the Mavs can't move Markieff unless they cut him.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Marcus.
Yeah,
Is it Marcus? It's Marcus Morris, right?
I thought it's Markieff.
It's Markieff.
Marcus
It's Markieff.
is
It's
on the
Markieff.
Clippers.
It's Markieff. Yeah.
I think Markieff.
I get confused. Ever since Markieff left the Wizards, I got confused.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they were both on the Clippers at one time, right?
No, they were both on the Suns at one time.
Okay.
One was on the Clippers and one was on the Lakers.
That's okay. I know Marcus Morris is the one Luka does not like because Markieff had a quote where he's like, "Yeah, we do dumb stuff."
But Markieff won a championship with the Lakers, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I think.
Okay. You're probably, yeah.
I
thought, yeah, that makes sense.
No, it definitely was Markieff that won the championship. I'm just checking real quick. Yeah, he did. Okay, so at the same time that, like in 1920, when he was with the Lakers, his brother Marcus was with the Clippers. Yeah, they both got traded from somewhere else to LA that same year.
That's
just different LA.
Crazy. Yeah, so now we have Eric Gordon. I think he gets bought out. I don't think anyone trades for him. I think Rockets will buy him.
He's played really well recently. I do think he gets traded, and the team I think he gets traded to is the Grizzlies. Ooh. The Grizzlies need another shooter besides Bane. And Dylan Brooks offensively this year has been less than bad. He has been horrible. Now, he's still a plus defender, so he deserves to still play, but they need another shooter. And Ja, paired with other shooters, I think will be a positive. And they have a lot of young players, so I think that Eric Gordon probably is moved to the Grizzlies.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Now, maybe they do wait for him to get bought out to see if he gets bought out, but that is risky considering I think a lot of teams would want a really good shooter who has experience in the playoffs and is playing well recently. So I think they try to make a trade.
Yeah, that would make sense because I think there are a lot more desirable destinations right now than the Grizzlies in the buyout market.
Yeah.
So now Jared Vanderbilt, I do think he gets traded, because I think he's a great defender. So it would make sense.
This is the first player I actually am going to stick with going to the Mavs. I eventually had Jakob Poeltl switching to the Wizards, but I think Jared Vanderbilt. I think they send a first and someone to fill the contract.
What's his contract?
I think it's I'll check again. It's not that bad.
So could it be like a Frank Ntilikina?
Let me verify. So Vanderbilt's getting paid. Yeah, 4.37 this year, 4.7 next year.
Sweet. He's next year. Oh man, I would love that trade.
Well, that's why you have to send a first. You are not getting Vanderbilt without a first. There's a 0% chance you get Vanderbilt without a first.
Yeah, I think the Mavs are on a very thin line where they can be very competitive this season, but also be competitive in the next few years. But you have to tread lightly because I think if they do one move one way, it tanks it.
Ntilikina is getting paid $2 million, but I think that's close enough in the percentages, or maybe you have to include somebody else who's getting paid a little bit more.
Can I send JaVale McGee instead of Frank?
McGee gets paid more than Vanderbilt. I don't know.
Dang it!
You you can't send McGee. There's no way you send McGee. Maybe it's possible, but I would put that on the highly doubt category.
I'm trying to think of guys we do not play because I want to clear up other roster spots for the buyout market. And I also want to get rid of McGee. Man, that contract stinks. But yeah. And are you basing... I'm glad you're going... I might go Lakers or Mavs, but you saw his liked tweets
I did
Yeah,
not
one of
see
the-
his live tweets.
He liked like an apartment in Dallas.
That's funny. That's a
Bro,
good
he's
one.
coming.
Why would he stay in an apartment? I guess he wants to be
He was
downtown.
looking at a place in Dallas. I said apartment. Or he was looking at rentals and he liked it.
I mean, some players stay in apartments, but when I think of apartments, you're normally in Boston, New York, or LA, maybe Miami. I don't think Dallas. As someone familiar with Dallas, I don't think you'd want to stay in an apartment downtown
That's true.
as a player. But that's just me. Maybe you do. Maybe you find a good
Oh,
spot. I'm not gonna judge on the apartment grind. Lastly, for us, and if you have anyone at the end you want to add, you can do so. Kyle Lowry. I have Kyle Lowry remaining as a Heat. I
Ooh.
don't think they can make a move that is necessarily going to get them enough for Lowry. Because I think Lowry's just having a bad stretch of games. He's still a plus defender. Still, when he's playing well, he's a good passer. Still, when he's playing well, he's a good rebounder for guards. And still, when he's playing well, he can hit clutch shots and shoot threes. I just think he's having a bad time. The Heat are still going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to ride and die with this roster. Maybe they make some small moves, but I think mainly Lowry stays with the Heat.
This is the guard that I think gets traded to the Clippers. So you think the Heat are high on Lowry?
Higher on Lowry than the Raptors are on Fred, if that makes sense.
Okay, that does make sense. I'm flipped if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like huh?
You-
I view it the opposite way. I think the Heat are lower on Lowry than
But okay, here's the difference. The Raptors are not a contending team. The Heat are. And I think playoff and championship experience is invaluable. No matter how good you're playing, he should turn it up. He should start playing better. Now, obviously, there's a chance he doesn't play good at all and they falter out, but I really do think he will start playing better, which I think his value is higher than Fred because they don't want to give Kyle Lowry to another contender and then him start to play really, really well with a guy he's already played with before and Kawhi.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel they don't feel good about the contract and they're cool sending him away, but I understand your point.
Yeah.
So but like I have there's no thing I can look into and be like, oh, they think like this, but yeah. I just think it wouldn't require as much from the Clippers to get, which goes into my point. So yeah. And then we disagree on that. We'll see. And then is there any other player? Do you think Serge gets traded?
Serge gets traded. I don't think it's all that big of a trade, and I don't think it's something that's. It may be consequential come later, and maybe he makes a couple good plays because he's still a good defender, but I don't think it's anything too big.
Okay. Well, I'm shocked we went this long. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and any final thoughts, Austin?
Hopefully, it's a joy to watch. Hopefully, we don't get nothing on trade deadline day.
If it's like the off season with the trades, that's lame.
Yeah, I understand what you're
like,
saying.
KD, nothing.
KD doesn't have to get traded for this to be a good trade deadline, but I do need to see. Okay, we'll do something real quick. What do you need to see for it to be a good, enjoyable trade deadline? Don't mention the Mavs here.
I need 10 trades. I need 10 million tweets coming at me at 2:00.
For you to.
I just need
bare minimum to enjoy it.
No. Well, like when I want a crazy deadline, I want mega deals. It doesn't have to be KD. The thing with KD is he's halting the market, so teams are like, we can't do anything because we may want to get on KD. Just either trade him away or say he's staying. So then other guys, Lakers can make moves. Other teams can make moves because
the Lakers, the Lakers, the Mavs are not on the KD train at all. But
I'm just saying, like, it's the weird, like, people are waiting in line for KD, and I just want that to either like be shipped or like get rid of it, or just stop it. So then other deals can happen.
What if the Lakers did trade for KD? Because they have technically the money to do that trading Russ, but they don't have the picks to do it. That's the problem. They would have to send, and I mean it, 900 firsts, maybe 1,000 firsts.
I was exaggerating with 10 million. I need my phone blowing up with Twitter notifications to where I consider turning them off.
Well, we will be recording tomorrow, probably around the highest time for trade deals. So
yeah, I need to look at. Oh, okay, like this. Shams just tweeted: Lakers, Jazz, and Timberwolves are finalizing trade, sending D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. Dang it! And okay, well, live reaction to this. I want this happening next week, tomorrow.
I was right about one player. Let's go. Oh wait, and Mike Conley.
Wait, and Mike
Conley goes to Minnesota.
Mike Conley. I get Minnesota and Memphis next up. Mike Conley was with Memphis.
Yes.
Okay,
so of the players I have predicted, I have gotten one correct, which was Russell Westbrook to Utah.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. Well, that's a good trade for the Lakers. We'll find out. So I want this.
One first? With trading Russ? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Whoa. Well, okay, so Utah got a first out of this. Utah is kind of killing it.
Yeah, but they only got one first for taking on $47 million and trading away.
I think he's going to be bought out, is what I'm hearing. Or what people are saying they're hearing.
By the Jazz? I don't think the Jazz do that. I mean, unless they're going to start Sexton. Unless that's the plan. Once they start Sexton, then yeah, they buy him out. If not, the Jazz aren't that far out of a West spot, and I would not mind an end-of-year Russ revenge arc. I wouldn't mind it.
That would be fire. So I want to be picking up my phone and see a new trade whenever I pick up my phone, and then I have to keep checking my phone for more trades. I want stuff happening. I don't want to be looking and constantly refreshing. Like, is something gonna happen?
Yeah. So. Well, that's a good live reaction to end off the video. I'm excited
that is a great. But yeah, actually, one more question. What are your thoughts on Markkanen as a Jazz?
He stays. He stays. There's zero. I mean, if you trade Markkanen, I lose all hope.
So do you think this is like Markkanen's? If you're buying stock, are you going to buy stock now on Markkanen? Like, this is the player he is, or is he overachieving?
What's your definition of overachieving? I think that, yes, he is playing better than you at least efficiency-wise, better than he probably ever will again. But that's not because I think he's way overproducing. I think he'll be around this player, but this may be his best season of his career.
Okay.
Because Kevin, his efficiency does not make sense. 52, 42, 87, that is not realistic. And he really makes me consider whether this guy also went to the Dirk trainer. Because, holy cow, like, he's hitting every shot. Like, it is...
Quick refresher on efficiency. What is 52...
52% from the field, 42% from three, 87% from the line.
42% from three?
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
The league average true shooting percentage is around 57.4, 58, something like that. His is for all players. True shooting percentage. Not field goal percentage. True shooting. It's an advanced stat. But his true shooting percentage is 66.7.
Dang. Okay, so you think he'll be around this player? I'm not sure if...
I don't think he will be... He may score more points. He may get more rebounds. If he's this efficient again, I don't know, man. Because I think teams will adjust their defenses. But I do think he'll be a 20-point scorer for at least the next 5 years. At least. I think he'll grab around 9 rebounds like he's 8.7. I think he'll average around 7 to 9 rebounds again next 5 years. I think he is a all-star reserve potential for the next 5 or 6 years. The Jazz should not trade him. If they trade him, here's the one way I say yes, unless it's Kevin Durant. Unless Kevin Durant's like, I must be gone, and you're just like, okay. And maybe this becomes a 4-team trade where Markkanen goes to the Nets and KD goes to the Jazz, but Russ, instead of going to the Jazz, goes to the Nets to fill up the contract. Crazy. And maybe the Jazz send out another player for contract reasons, like Clarkson, I guess? I don't know. Like, the entire Jazz roster just blows up in our faces with the added KD. I mean, but that's not going to happen. But I think Markkanen and Kessler are really the two guys I don't think you trade. Not because Kessler's untouchable, but because I think his value will also go up. He's literally Rudy Gobert, but just he's getting paid like $2 million. So
yeah, if you feel that way, then I would not trade Markkanen. I'm not sure if I feel he's going to be this consistent. So I wouldn't mind selling high on him. But yeah, that's my thoughts. We'll see. And I don't think he gets traded, but I was curious what you thought. Longer video, but let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.